And you've obviously communicated with a lot of different organizations as well. And I'd like to just maybe ask you then to share with some other organizations. And you've obviously mentioned a few already, but maybe any specific ways to engage or promote activities, because you're very much a people person, right? And you don't seem to have much fear about approaching people. That may not be everyone though, you know, even the people that are very social and approachable, they might not be always sure how to engage or what to actually do. So have you got any specific tips or suggestions that other volunteers or community leaders could take on board?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you need to design a plan. You need to have a plan, and in the plan, set yourself goals and actions, and have a timeline of when you want things to be done. And keep it simple. You know, set yourself simple goals and actions that are achievable. Don't ever promise anything that you can't deliver. That's the worst thing that you could do. And then, you know, just always have clear and open communication, because when the communication stops, or if somebody doesn't understand something, you've got to take the time to explain it a different way. Because just because you understand something doesn't mean that the next person understands it. So sometimes, because I'm using my teaching head, as a teacher, I would walk into a lesson with 3 different handouts that all be explaining the same thing, but one would be of a higher level, one would be of a middle level, and one would be of a more simpler level. So that you've got 3 different ways of communicating, because every person understands what you say differently to the next person. So if you've communicated something and they don't understand, you need to be patient enough to take that time to explain it a different way. So it's all about communication. It's making sure that you've got the resources to do what you need to do. You know, if you haven't got a huge budget, you know, ask a friend. You know, can you design a poster? Ask a resident. You know, you don't have to do everything yourself. There must be people that you know that can support you to, you know, design and print a poster. Even simple things. I've written text for an email for a volunteer or a colleague or an organisation, because they don't know how to write an introduction email to somebody. So just doing simple things like that. And I've written many of them for people, you know, an introduction email or an introduction letter, or, you know, so don't be afraid to ask somebody to write something, or if you've written something, get somebody to proofread it. No, don't be afraid to ask for help. That shows your strength by asking for help. There's nothing wrong in asking for help. That's how you develop as a volunteer, as a leader, by asking for help, you know. So, and other things like identifying what the priorities are. It could just be a morning session that you're going to do with somebody, but to achieve that, you've done the plan, you've done the timeline, you've got the resources, but then you have to prioritize what's the first 2 important things that you have to do first before you can get to Z, you know. So have a list of priorities and go down that list, and then as you're going down it, make sure that you've actioned it, date when you've actioned it, and if you've signed it off to somebody else to do, put that person's name with their contact details, and then put in there, going to check in 2 days, 4 days to make sure that they've done that. So if you're delegating your priorities, check in with that person that you delegated to. Make sure that they understand what is being asked of them. You know, don't just ask somebody to do something and you're presuming that they know how to do it, and they haven't got the confidence to say, well, I don't actually know what I'm doing, and they just sit there and do nothing. So explain whenever you're handing over a task, explain what you want that person to do, and do it in an open and soft way so that they can feel that they can say, well, I don't understand. Because if you explain in a way where they're too afraid to ask for support, then the job's not going to be done.
Absolutely.
So it's the soft skills that you need, whether you're a volunteer or a leader, when you're building a team, whether it's a team of volunteers, whether it's a team within your workforce, it's having the soft skills, to delegate work, to communicate something, to hand over something, to train somebody, or if you need support from them, it's the soft skills.